It's Thursday, one day shy of the weekend. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is Thursday's Throwdown of various topics. Megan Boswell, I will bring you content pertaining to this hideous version she has brought before the court saying that her child's death, Evelyn Boswell, was an accident. I'm going to bring you an update pertaining to Debbie Collier, her daughter and boyfriend, Debacle. We're now getting information that allegedly the daughter has claimed to be in the dollar store with her mother. We'll bring you that said information. I'm going to bring you information pertaining to Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out in there. They're having a rat problem. We're going to talk about Atlanta prisons. They're going on strike. I'm going to bring you information out of Texas pertaining to someone stealing packages off of people's porches and something very nasty that was done to a woman who tried to get back at the thieves. This is an all-around news update where I bring you various news updates. Instead of just one topic today, it's going to be quite a few. See, I've got a fly in the room. Sorry about that. It's in the background. Naturally, when you turn the light on, that's when the bugs come in. It's a little warm today in the high 10s, so that's to be expected. But thank you all so much for joining me. Let's get started with our first story. Austin couple puts dirty diapers in box to trick porch pirates. Thieves strike back with cow manure. Thank you for joining me.
Fed up with porch pirates, fights back, and now police are investigating after thieves not only swiped some packages in South Austin, but they vandalized that woman's home. Thanks for joining us tonight at 9. I'm Britt Marino.
I'm Daniel Marin. The woman told us after seeing similar videos outside of other people's homes, she wanted to do something drastic. KXAN's Brianna Hollis shows us what.
It's officially fall in Central Texas, which, well, doesn't mean a ton because it's still 90 plus degrees outside. But people do now have holidays on the mind. For Gabriella, a mom, in this case, it's not a good thing.
We need to stop this now, especially before the holidays get started.
This is the this she's talking about.
Hitting in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night, same car, same people.
They even tried to swipe her skeleton, which she now has chained to the house. She says at least 12 neighbors have told her the same people have hit their homes.
As a community, we are frustrated.
Nearby, Brittany Walker dealt with the same thing.
I see somebody with the big package. I just ran outside and I just said, I have a baby. And they look at me and they just left.
While Walker yelled, Gabriella put her kids' dirty diapers in a box on the porch.
And when they discovered it was a bunch of dirty diapers, they came back and smeared those diapers on our front door.
Police say victims can legally confront these suspects, but
don't do it. Please don't confront a porch pirate.
At Gabriella's, the diaper debacle got worse.
They came back with a giant bag of cow manure, and so it was a really long day of cleaning a lot of cow feces off of our house that day.
But she says it was worth it.
But it's a tool for me. I have a toddler, I work full time, and I have another one on the way. So I use this as a survival tool. There has to be an end. It's just not okay in my book anymore.
Brianna Hollis, KXAN News.
And we asked APD about the manure case.
Sorry about that.
It says smearing it on vehicles would fall under criminal mischief. Investigators are still looking into what happened. Now, APD recommends requiring a signature for delivery drivers to drop off packages or maybe get your packages delivered to work. In Round Rock, the police department launches Operation Front Porch during the holidays, in which people can have their packages delivered straight to the police department.
All right, everybody. I'm kind of maneuvering my camera here. It's having difficulties. Got thousands of things running. All right, let's talk about this. This is crazy to me. Wow.
Being a DIY landlord is not.
I don't know why that's cut. Sorry about that. She decides to exact revenge on person or persons stealing her packages. The neighborhood has some pirate thieves stealing from them. So she decides to put dirty diapers in a box. And instead of them just saying, okay, they got us, This fool decides to come back with cow manure. Why would you even return back? Whoever you are, because you're obviously a dodo bird. You know what you're doing is wrong. You know that stealing is wrong. You know that going to these people's homes stealing is wrong. And yet you would come back and find cow manure wherever you're finding boo-boo from. That's just bad enough. Whoever's boo-boo it is. Why would you go gather up boo-boo from wherever and then put it in your car, because you obviously jumped into a vehicle after stealing her packages? You will return back in a car with shit. Excuse my language. Does that make any sense? Does that make any type of logical sense? You're stealing from random people. They put boo-boo in the package, which they can do that because it's their house, it's their lawn, it's their door. You're stupid enough to go run up there and steal the packages, not even knowing what's in them. Could be shrapnel inside of there, anything. You better be glad there wasn't shrapnel, because you wouldn't even be able to see, hear anything. And you're stupid enough to return back with putting cow manure on the woman's window. Really? Okay. Well, I hope they find this persons that's doing this, because that shows your mindset that you're just a menace. And what's sad about the situation is 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be a high bond, of course. It's just going to be vandalism, theft and vandalism. But nonetheless, it's jacked up. I think what they should do is sit outside her house, the authorities, in a plain car, because they're going to come back, because they're angry, obviously. And I'd wait on them. That's exactly what I'd do. I'd wait on them. That's one of my first stories coming out of Texas. Prayers for this woman in the neighborhood, that they get this mess under control. Let's see what other kind of crazy shenanigans I can find to talk about. Let's go to Alabama. Alabama's having some issues right now. The prison system is going on a strike, allegedly. Alabama inmates have stopped performing their duties to protest their living conditions. Mercy. News 19 is the source. Let's see what's going on down in Alabama. Wow. It's getting serious out here.
Continuing today inside Alabama prisons, inmates have stopped performing their duties to protest their living conditions.
And some are saying this protest has been a long time coming, giving the U.S. Department of Justice's lawsuit against Alabama over its prison conditions. News 19 investigative reporter Dallas Parker spoke with one of the U.S. attorneys who negotiated with the state about the need to improve the prisons.
Former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Alabama, Jay Town, helped negotiate on behalf of the federal government in D.C. and Montgomery on finding remedies for what the DOJ describes as a state prison system in need of major improvements. The negotiations did not resolve the problems of unsafe prisons, and the DOJ sued Alabama in December 2019.
They're old facilities, and this is an inherited problem by the state currently, but a problem nonetheless, and the problem of Governor Ivey and ADOC and the legislators that appropriate to sort of abate against these Eighth Amendment issues.
Prisoners across the state are refusing to work inside the facilities in protest of the conditions, but Town says these actions could be hurting those on the inside more than helping their cause.
Exactly.
Well, I'm sure the prisoners are tired of the conditions in which they are living. I don't think that any critical services are being disrupted inside of these prisons, and frankly, if you want to call it a strike, strikes like this inevitably hurt the prisoners inside because the services that are typically provided by prisoners involve cleaning and cooking and laundry and things like that everyday tasks that prisoners sort of rely upon.
But he thinks their plan to get the prison system's attention is working.
Some of them think this is a meaningful way to engage with the Alabama Department of Corrections. I do think ADOC is taking notice. I do think the state's taking notice. But really all this is a reminder of the Eighth Amendment conditions inside of our male facilities in Alabama.
Dozens of inmates have died in Alabama prisons this year. News 19 has received a number of concerns for inmate safety. The Justice Department says Alabama's prison conditions violate the Constitution's ban on cruel and unusual punishment.
To the extent that any of those deaths are the result of physical violence, obviously that's something that every Alabamian should want to avoid. People don't go to prison to die. They go there to serve their time and do their bit for society.
Town says in the last several years, the state has tried to make changes.
Certainly, we've heard about 2 mega prisons being built in the
Thank
state
you.
of Alabama, which I believe to be a good idea. But we still have an overcrowding issue. We still have those unsanitary and unsafe conditions. ADOC is still vastly understaffed.
If the DOJ matter goes to trial, it's likely to happen in 2024.
All right, let's go here. There's a flip side to this, naturally. Some are going to say, what do I care about an inmate? I pay taxes, I don't care. I don't have anyone in there of relevance. What do I care? Then the other side of the coin for those who may care. Well, it's cruel, it's unusual punishment, as the government, the Constitution says. No cruel and unusual punishment shall be exacted on a living human being in the United States of America. So which side of the coin do you all fall on? Yay, yay, yay. We care about our citizens, even though they are vile and disruptive and wayward and they're incarcerated. Or no, I don't give a damn. So what? You're entitled to your opinion. The interesting part of this storyline is that, yes, the people inside are going to suffer greatly, even the ones who are striking, because he or she may not be thinking down the road. Well, if I don't cook, he doesn't clean, this one doesn't do this one doesn't serve the meals, how are we going to eat? You're angry, we get it. But you too are going to suffer because you are an inmate. See, this is what happens when you don't plan things out properly. You decide to say, well, I'm not going to get up for my meal duties, cleaning duties, whatever. Well, who's going to clean the facility? Who's going to do the laundry? Who's going to do everything that the inmates are required to do or volunteer to do, however it works? How's this going to work? Is it mandatory that some are given jobs, or is it a choice for you to go to work inside of the prisons? I don't know, I'm not there. But nonetheless, the same ones protesting are the same ones that are going to suffer alongside their fellow inmates. Somebody has to cook the food. Somebody has to prep the food. Somebody has to serve the food. Somebody has to clean the facilities, all the general areas of the prison. Somebody has to do the laundry. I didn't even think about the laundry. Yes, somebody's got to watch the spin cycle go round and round. Put the clothes in the dryer. Throw the clothes in the bin, push bin, whichsoever. So these inmates aren't really thinking about that. They are also going to suffer. Let's see what the town folk have to say about what's going on in Alabama. There are some people who are protesting. Let's get their 411. WVTM 13 News is the source. Thank you for joining me.
Across the state of Alabama on strike, protesting what they call deplorable conditions in all state prisons.
WVTM 13's Chip Scarborough is live for us this evening in Birmingham. Chip, what's going on here?
Brittany and Guy, the Alabama Department of Corrections confirming to us tonight that there is controlled movement and other security measures in place in state prisons as a result of those prisoners going on strike. Take a look at this video out of Montgomery today where protesters hosted a Break Every Chain rally outside of the Alabama Department of Corrections headquarters. The protesters say they have loved ones who are in prison now. Some of the even have been in prison themselves. The protesters have a list of demands for the Department of Corrections, including an immediate repeal of Alabama's habitual offender law, a repeal of the state's drive-by shooting statute, mandatory parole criteria that guarantees parole for all eligible inmates, and to end life without parole sentences. Alabama Governor Kay Ivey is weighing in tonight, saying the following, quote, "These demands, as the protesters refer to them, are unreasonable and would flat out not be welcomed in Alabama.
Sorry, it's
It
a
is
little
also
blurry.
important for these protesters to understand that a lot of their demands would require legislation, not unilateral action. Some of these demands suggest that criminals like murderers and serial child sex offenders can walk the streets, and I can tell you that will never happen in the state of Alabama, where we always prioritize the safety of our citizens."
Well, what about that?
No one's speaking about releasing murderers or rapists or those child molesters. So I want her to stop with the foolery, and I want her to once issue a statement that's based upon facts, and that's based upon the fact that she's listening to the heartbeat of not just those individuals in her party, but also the individuals that she is also called to represent.
And Representative Gavan wants to stress that we're talking about those individuals who have committed petty crimes. The head of the Alabama Department of Corrections saying tonight that so far there hasn't been a disruption of any critical services. Live in Birmingham tonight, Chip Scarborough, WVTM 13.
All right, everybody, that is WVTM 13 News, one of my sources for my Alabama news. Weigh in, tell me what you think. Should we care about what's going on in the prisons? I did bring you content to my community board of a man who was hanging on to life in a photograph that someone sent to the public about his health care, African-American male. He did not look that way when he entered the system. I don't know how long he has been in prison, but there was a before and an after photograph of him. Please go to my community board for the said information. His sister says nobody's contacted her about anything pertaining to her brother. He also doesn't have a visitors list. Why is that? Had he been in trouble in there? But they said she was not an authorized visitor. So one would ask themselves, why is that? So that's why I said, how long was he in there? What is he in there for? What is his medical condition? That hasn't been released. They mentioned that, oh, we're treating him for his medical condition. Well, what is it? This issue here with the prisons not being up to par in Alabama. There are photographs of men sleeping in bunk beds in open rooms. Is that now the new standard for housing prisoners? Bunk beds in open rooms. I don't know if the men care to change in front of other men. You know, guys probably don't care whether you're incarcerated or not, or locker room type situation, but there's no privacy. Guys are known to hang up sheets and towels or whatever to have some privacy from the light when they want to take a nap or sleep. But as I said, some will say, hey, I don't really care. They've done heinous things. They didn't care about us when they were out here in free, so why should I care about how they're living in there? Or why should I care about what they're not getting? If they need eyeglasses or medical attention or meds for diabetes or whatever their ailments are. Some may feel I don't care. Tell me how you feel. How do you feel about the workers going on strike? In the end, as this commentator says in the first video, it is only going to affect you inmates if you go on strike. You won't get a meal. You won't get your laundry done. You won't have washcloths, towels, food. You won't have the basic amenities that you've been afforded. So in the end, even those striking, they're only doing detriment to themselves. But everyone is entitled to a voice. That is your constitutional right, even incarcerated. Those rights are not abolished because you're incarcerated. You do have the freedom to speak. But will people care enough? Will the government care? Will the state government care enough to honor these people and give them basic necessities while incarcerated? That's the said information. So I brought you an update coming out of Texas pertaining to thieves pirating people's porches, a woman putting dirty diapers in a box, and then the thief returns back with cow manure, spreading it on her windows. And as she said, it took a long time to clean that up. What's going to be done about those pirates out there in Austin, Texas? Brought you information now about the prison system in Alabama. It's not looking too well for some of the inmates. They have prisons that are dated. They don't have enough staff. That's another issue that's going on in many prisons around the U.S. Short staff. Hell, are they paying the people enough to want to work at the prisons? That's another question. You are endangering your life by working with hardened criminals. Pay me. I'll come to work. Pay me a nice salary. What's the deal? Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $BigAngie129, Cash Out. Stickers and chats are welcome. This is an all-around live pertaining to different breaking news. I decided to do different topics in this live. This is Throwdown Thursday. Woo! What do we have next? Let's see what we got next on the board. Atlanta, Georgia. Nasty business going on down there. They've got a rodent problem. Fox 5 is the source. Thank you for joining me.
Atlanta police evacuated part of their airport office after a large dead rat was found.
As Fox 5's Morris Diggs reports tonight, the airport precinct is not the only City of Atlanta building with a rat problem.
Now, it wasn't that long ago that I told you about $1 million renovation to the police space here at the airport. But some problems never got resolved, including one that can be summed up with one word: nasty. Their role at the airport is pivotal, preserving public safety. But Atlanta officers believe their workplace, the precinct office, is unsafe when it comes to their personal health. They discovered a 3-pound rodent dead in the ceiling. Councilman Michael Bond is concerned about a rodent problem that existed before, and now we learned after the city spent $1 million on the office to do a renovation.
This, in my estimation, is really an emergency.
Earlier this month, during a 90-degree day, a portion of the precinct had been evacuated.
You can't use that office space when you have a dead animal. What we've asked, and the resolution passed the full body. The paper will address what was done and then review plans for the future for that precinct.
You are looking at rodent traps in another City of Atlanta building, the downtown courthouse. A worker who did not want to give her name talked about it. She believes more aggressive action than simply putting out glue traps should be taken by the City Hall office responsible for all the buildings.
We had an employee go to the break room, and she saw a rat in the
Look
break
at
room.
that.
So
The break room.
from
Wow.
one cubicle to another. It makes me feel nasty. I'm very
Rodent
uncomfortable.
droppings.
I'm always
Yum.
paranoid because I think it's running past me.
As far as the downtown rats roaming the city court building, part of the problem could be the congregation of homeless around the building and the food they eat and the leftovers they leave on the sidewalk. From downtown Atlanta, I'm Morris.
All right, everybody.
Fox 5 News.
All right, Fox 5. Woo, Lord, what do y'all think about that? So we went from the airport, newly renovated airport, $1 million or so spent. Woo, sorry about that. My cord got loose, Lordy. Let me move this up more. This it's gonna be a problem, I see. We went from the airport, newly renovated police precinct with a rat problem. Now, I don't think the homeless are hanging around the airport. I doubt that. I'm sure they're keeping all that free and clear of wrong and people gallivanting around because of, national security and security of the pedestrians and people coming to drop off people boarding flights to and from. So I don't see homeless people hanging around the airport. But a 3-pound rat was found in the ceiling in that police precinct division. 3 pounds is a lot. Let's use our imagination here for just a second. A loaf of bread. I need not say more. You know how much a loaf of bread weighs. Now imagine a 3-pound rat in the ceiling. So as they said, the people couldn't go to work. We already know a rat's gonna stink up to high heavens. A small mouse can stink up an entire house. So what do you think a 3-pound rat would do inside of the ceiling once it starts to deteriorate and let off an odor? Not too nice. Rat traps visible. I have a problem with that. Even in your house, you would put a trap behind a refrigerator or a stove as not to be visible to the naked eye. Why would I want to go into work, whether it be carpeted, tile, doesn't matter, it's all the same. I don't want to see a rat trap, mouse trap at my damn job. Those traps were out and visible. As you see, somebody took photographs, video of the traps, and they're visible. So I don't want to step over a rat trap going into the bathroom, the break room, a cubicle. How are you going to hide a rat trap in a cubicle? I want y'all to think about what I'm saying. That is nasty. And that is one of the filthiest animals known to man is a rat, a mouse. It's all the same. And they carry germs, as we've learned from all these diseases that have transpired from coast to coast, country to country. They carry nasty diseases. And nobody wants to know that they've been going to work and a rat has been crawling up in their chair and on their desk and under their feet. Because as I said, they carry nasty germs. And if you're in the break room where you're going in there, drinking your soda pop, eating your food, God forbid, putting something in the refrigerator or wherever in the cabinets, now you have a rodent problem. So Atlanta, you just got all kind of problems. You've got high crime, carjacking, robberies, break-ins, high rate of HIV, homosexuality, bisexuality, and now rat problem. So maybe the Lord's trying to tell us something. I don't know. I don't mean to get biblical on any of you, but I'm just keeping it real. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Next up, we're going to talk about some nasty business down in Memphis, Tennessee. Prayers for Collier. He's passed away at 59. He suffered cardiac arrest and was pronounced dead on the scene. Prayers to his family. Thank you all so much for joining me. He died at 59 years of age. Well, WREG is my next source, Channel 3 News. Somebody's been busy down in Memphis, Tennessee. This is uploaded 15 hours ago. Woman accused of shooting at a car with children inside. My. This heifer is something else. I'm going to bring my camera a little closer so I can show you what this crazy bat looks like and the young lady who she shot at. Thank you for joining me. Thank God nobody was hurt. The last two stories is Debbie Collier and Megan Boswell. Thank you so much for joining me.
While in a car. That woman is charged with several counts of attempted murder. WREG's Marcus Hunter spoke with the victim who says this was not an isolated incident.
Kanisha Robertson says she fears for her life after she says a woman with a grudge shot at her and her children while she was driving.
All I heard was boom, and my whole back window shattered.
According to police reports, Angel Jackson was following Robertson while hanging out the window of a car holding a gun.
I just see the car speeding up behind me, blowing the horn.
The victim told police as she was turning south onto Austin P from Yale Road, that is when she heard several shots.
The bullet went past my oldest oldest daughter head and went straight into the front seat. And if my oldest son, he rides in my front seat. My oldest son would have been in my truck. My oldest son would have got shot in the head.
Kanisha Robertson says Jackson started harassing her and her family after she learned Jackson was having an affair with her now ex-husband.
I was pregnant when she was messing with my husband. So she has a grudge against my 10-month-old son. That's the one she's always talking about. She's gonna shoot in the head.
Court records show Jackson has already been to jail twice in Shelby County for aggravated assault against Robertson. According to an incident report obtained by WREG, one of those previous cases involved her allegedly threatening Robertson and her son with a gun. Robertson says that she is not sure what else she can do to protect her family.
She has no respect for authority. Y'all calling and telling her to stay away from me. That's not doing anything.
Jackson is now charged with 4 counts of criminal attempted first-degree murder. In Raleigh, Marcus Hunter, WREG News Channel 3.
Jackson's bond has been set at $150,000. She is due back in court next week.
All right, chop it up, everybody. Tell me how you feel about Miss Angel. Angel. What is your problem? You already have, with 2 or so assaults against the lady, threatening her and her child. You're jealous of what? Because he made a baby with her? Let me guess. He told you he wasn't sleeping with her anymore. I don't love her. It ain't nothing. We ain't doing nothing. Voila, she's pregnant. Voila, baby's born. You are mad, ain't you? You see, this is what happens when you get yourself wrapped up with people who are taken. That's why it's not good to talk to men that have girlfriends, wives, live-ins, whatever they want to call them. Because men will lie. That's just what they do. That's their damn job. Not all men are this way. Let me make that clear before somebody gets jiggy. But the point is, once you found out he was married, it was your decision to continue having an affair with him. However it went, I don't know how long this relationship went on. I don't know how long this lady was married to her husband. But nonetheless, she says you've been stalking her, bothering her. You already have been arrested 2 times for assaulting her, aggravated assault. You see, the one thing this woman hasn't learned about our laws is that I have the right to invite your ass inside my house. And once I realized this heifer had a problem with me, she wanted to lash out, I would have invited her in for tea, and that would be the end of the story. How about that? Tennessee law says all feet and arms must be inside of the door and the window in order for me not to catch a murder charge for killing you. Are you all following what I'm saying to you? That's Tennessee law. That is the law in most states. All arms and feet, torso, must be inside of the dwelling unit in order for me not to stand trial for murder. So therefore, the first time you confronted me any type of way, we would have had a sit down, if you get my drift. I was once told that by a sheriff's deputy. He said, when you continue to have problems with a certain person, leave the door unlocked. Let them come in. Are you all following what I'm saying to you? You want to get rid of a rat? Don't wait for the rat to try to get in. Let the rat in. Now, some of you will say, now, Angela, you're inviting trouble. No. I'm not inviting anything because I'm going to finish what you started. You're seeking my death, my demise, so why not let you in? That's what you want. So I'm going to give you what you want. This is the only way you can get rid of a person. Sad to say, but when your life is in danger and you see that a person is bothering you, stalking you, they're pulling out weapons, they're already letting you know they don't want you alive. So you can't continue to keep thinking they're not going to try to kill you. This is common sense. This woman has already shown her she wanted her dead. We're not going to sit here and play around and say, oh, she was just playing. She didn't mean anything. She was just joking around. Well, 2 times She's already been arrested 2 times, so what does that tell you? This is attempt number 3. She shot at her car. She shot the window out. What else would you need? And as the woman said, had her child been sitting in the front seat, the child would have probably got shot in the head, depending on how tall the child is. What if she had a friend in the car? Hell, what if she had got shot? She would have wrecked her car, hurt herself, her children, anybody else in the car, hurt a pedestrian. And did you look at the mug shot of this black female? She's looking at the camera like, what? Yeah, I did it. And what's going to be even worse? Listen in closely. She gets out on bond. Bingo card. She gets out on bond. God forbid she's got a few coins stacked away where she can get her little dusty ass out of jail, or somebody can go put up their good house for her. That's my baby. I got to get my baby out of jail. I know what she did was wrong, but I got to get her out of there. Well, go and get her out of there. Because let me tell you something. If this girl don't wise up, she better. That heifer gets out of jail, I'd be waiting on her. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I leave the door unlocked and I leave the door cracked. And I make sure you standing fully inside of my door. Your back ain't to the door. Because you know you can stand trial for murder with your back, with the person's back to the door. To show that you shot them in the back, that they were leaving. You're going to have to kill that girl. And that's a sad thing to say, but we are past the stage of prayer. There's no praying for her at this point. There's no reasoning with her at this point. If she makes bond, all bets are off. This young lady's going to have to lay her down because her spirit is evil. Now, let's talk about the man, because, you know, he plays a role in this mess. The woman is no longer married to him. So where is he? And is he with this heifer? Ding, ding, ding. Anybody listening to the queen? Where is this man? I want to see this lump of clay. Because I like to know what the hell is he thinking while this woman has been terrorizing this girl. I don't know if she was with her husband when this woman was terrorizing her, or was she already divorced. But this is some crazy ghetto ratchetness right up to him. Imagine if she was with her husband when this heifer was stalking her and doing whatever the hell she was doing. Do you think you'll be laying in my bed with me and your girlfriend stalking me and shooting at me and trying to beat me up and threaten my child? How's she threatening your child? Let me guess. Facebook. Shut up, Queen. Yeah, B-I-T-C-H. That's my man. He don't want you, blah, blah, blah. You're not stupid you would look, sit up here arguing with somebody on Facebook about that man. I wouldn't raise my breath to argue with no heifer on Facebook, or TikTok, or YouTube, and nowhere else. If he your man, well, good, Cookie. Congratulations. Because, you know, when you don't pay attention to the details, such as where a man lives, you never go to his house, he can tell you anything. I live with my sister, my cousin, I got a roommate. That's why you always go to a man's home to know where he stays. My daddy taught me that. He can't take you where he lives, you need not talk to him. Because then that means you don't know where he stays. So therefore, he's got a girlfriend, a side piece, an 8-piece, a 6-piece. Where is the man at? I want to know, where is he? Now, how do you feel about knowing your children could have been killed by this lunatic you've been slumbering with? And we don't even have proof to how long he's been messing with this girl. We don't even know if he's dating her now. Because one would say, well, if they're together, what reason does she have to keep stalking this lady and shooting at her car? Is the couple actually divorced? Are they still messing around? So you have to ask all those questions, because why would this woman want to shoot at this woman over a man that she's not married to anymore? So if you're with the man, what's your problem? So there's some funky business going on between the three. Shut up, Queen. She, and he. Where is he? What is the role he's been playing with these two women? Is he an instigator? Because you know you got some men that like to stir the pot. As I call it, a bitch move. They like to go back between the two with a little he said and a little she said, playing both of them against one another. But see, we already know that somebody's going to be the biggest loser. Somebody's going to get hurt. There will be a funeral if that girl bonds out. And the best thing that mother can do is go get her a weapon if she is not a convicted felon. She needs to be able to protect herself and her children. Because if she can't beat that girl down, she's going to have to lay her down with a bullet. And that's just the way it is. Because obviously this chick's got something wrong with her. She done fell off the radar and she doesn't know what to do with herself. But see, you have to check your feelings in. You have to check your feelings, whether you're dating a man and he's not messing around, married, whatever the situation is. Once you realize there's something going on with another one and another one, you're not getting what you want from him, you have to tell yourself, maybe this isn't a place I need to be. Because you can get yourself out of whack and the man is single. But he could be single and messing around with this one and that one. And as they say in the street, what you gonna do? Fight everybody he's messing with? Because you have some women that have that kind of mentality. They want to fight every woman that he slept with, he dated, he done had sex with. Well, you're going to get tired at some point. And you might not get lucky round 2, round 3. Somebody might beat you to the punch, literally. Is it worth going to prison now? Because now you've got attempted murder. Times what? 4? All over a man. So you're willing to forfeit your freedom over a man and a baby. I got a feeling he lied to you, Angel, and told you he hadn't been messing with his wife, and then you found out she was pregnant, and you just lost your damn mind. But in the end, you seem to forget one little detail, small detail. That was his wife. So therefore, she's entitled to get pregnant by him. Shut up, Queen. See, you done lost your way. And now you're in jail. And I pray you stay in there because I know that when you get out of there, you would most definitely try to kill that woman and that baby. You ought to be ashamed of yourself because the child didn't ask to be here. So who you mad at really is the man. And that's who you should be bitching with. Because in the end, no matter what version he told you of what was going on in his marriage, who did what, who wasn't doing this and that, it takes two to tango, and there's two sides of the coin. And the child didn't ask to be here. So you should be taking your beef up with the man, not the ex-wife and not her children. And it shows that you are a low-rent, dirty hag, that you would want to shoot a child because you've got beef with the mother. The child didn't ask to be here, and the child really is irrelevant because she already has other children. And she was legally married to the man. So what's your problem? This is a sad, sick story. Thank you for joining me, everybody. 2 more stories to go. All right, everybody. Here we have it. Woo! Let's do it. Megan Boswell. Lord have mercy. If I could get inside of the jail, I would wring this heifer's neck. I'm over this little girl. I'm really over this girl. Prayers for Florida. Let me show you all a picture I saw today that has just baffled my mind. This is, hold on. Where is this? Tampa Bay. I want you all to look at this picture. If you can see that well. That is the ocean floor near the drive, near the buildings, if you can see that well. That is concrete with a crack in it. That is Tampa Bay, the ocean. Are you all seeing what I'm saying to you? That is the most baffling thing I have seen. So I was asking myself, I wonder how far down that is from the street. 10 feet, 15 feet, what? And I heard people commenting saying below the video, or the picture rather, that people were running over there taking pictures. So you don't think the water will come back up? Are you this crazy? You willing to go stand on the ocean, that part of the ocean closest to the city line, the street line rather, and stand there and take pictures to tell your friends what? This is the bottom of the ocean right here, closest to the street. I'm gonna take a picture. Now, what would you do if all that water come gushing back in there? You couldn't get out of there. I'm just saying. Ooh, Lord help me, Jesus, I'm dead. All right, everybody. Megan Boswell is my next subject. This should be a doozy. Oh, mercy, help me, Jesus. Court TV is the source.
I just want her back for so long more. I've been so long without her, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't you report it? I missed it earlier because my mom threatened me, and I just want her back. That's all I can think about so much. I just want her back.
A lot of people are going to wonder whether or not those tears are genuine, because that's Megan Boswell, teen mom, accused of the murder of her daughter. Let me show you the picture. This is little baby Evelyn. Her mother's been charged with the murder. She went missing. Mom did not report her missing. Her grandfather had to make that report. She was then found on some family property, and now we're getting more details about the cause of death, and it's gruesome. Let me bring in Joseph Scott Morgan. He's in Jacksonville, Alabama tonight. He's professor of forensics at Jacksonville State University, former senior investigator for the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office, and the host of the incredibly popular Body Bags podcast. Joseph, let me put up on the screen, thanks for joining us again, baby Evelyn's cause of death. And this is what we learned in court. Cause of death, asphyxia. Manner of death, homicide. Here are the details. Evelyn was found wrapped up in aluminum foil and a blanket inside of a trash bag that had been discarded in a trash can. The chief medical examiner says aluminum foil obstructed her airway and was found inside of Evelyn's mouth. We also know that she was upside down in that trash bag. Here's what Megan Boswell told TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. She allegedly told the agents that Evelyn's death was an accident. She claims that she and her boyfriend rolled over on Evelyn and smothered her while they were all sleeping in the same bed. Your thoughts about the details we're learning here. What does it tell you?
You've got an obstructed airway, which, is facilitated through this aluminum foil. I don't ever recall hearing of a case where aluminum foil was utilized. However, what does happen, and I think that many, certainly parents who have this terror, I know I had when my kids were little, the kids are going to stick something in their mouth that's going to obstruct their airway. Aluminum foil can be manipulated and rolled up into a tiny ball. If that's what you have at your disposal, you can take this, wrap it up or wad it up and stuff it into the mouth like this, and automatically you're obstructing the airway. There's another troubling piece to this, Ben, and another layer to this from an asphyxial standpoint. Remember what what is being said here is that she was found in this bag, wrapped in a blanket, and she is inverted, upside down. And that can lead to further exacerbate the condition of asphyxia through a condition called positional asphyxia. I've worked cases where kids have fallen in between a wall and a crib before, when a crib was not put together properly. they inverted like that and they died as a result of positional asphyxia. The trick is this, to try to explain this to a jury, and the pathologist is going to have to stand and deliver relative to this, because there's some subtlety that's involved here. You're going to hear a lot about obstruction of the airway, how this is facilitated, and also, boy, how long this would have taken. Because it's not a quick death. It's not something where, if your mind automatically goes, well, maybe it was a merciful death. Ben, I got to tell you, this would not have been. This would have been absolutely, positively horrific.
Little Evelyn suffered.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, because as your body kind of phases through this oxygen deprivation, which is going on, your brain, even at this age, is screaming out, "I need oxygen." Panic that's involved with this. You're struggling, just to have your chest rise and fall because it's insufficient oxygenation, and this primal response kicks in where you just want to survive. And she would have felt that would have been, that would have been, present in that. I think that anybody that's, if you get a pulmonologist on the stand to testify to this, they could certainly testify. I'll tell you, the forensic pathologist that's going to get on the stand and talk about this, they're going to go into great detail about this. I hope the defense is prepared for this.
Justice Scott Morgan, appreciate your...
Let me pause right here. Evelyn was last seen in December 2019 and wasn't reported until, I believe it says January.
Your time, your insight, your expertise tonight. Thank you, sir.
February 2020. So December 2019, you have January, February. The gist of the story is that Megan isn't the person who reported her child missing. She isn't the one to say her child fell, suffocated, that she rolled over on top of the baby with her boyfriend. Whatever version, because there's always a new version pertaining to this goofy ass chick. It was, I believe, her father, grandfather, whomever. I get them mixed up. One of them reported the child missing because they hadn't seen her in a while. And there's different versions of when the child was last seen. Some hadn't seen the child since the holidays of November 19. One girl said she kept her in December of 2019. And then we roll into the new year, still no baby, walking around being visible, courting this little young boy she was chasing behind, who I believe is the reason why she killed her baby. I do believe she deliberately killed Evelyn Boswell. And the fact that she never reported the child missing would lead one to reasonably think she killed the child deliberately for whatever reason. And she only went along with the flow of making up all these different versions because she didn't have any other option. Her father, whomever, put her on Front Street by going to DHS to say, hey, we haven't seen this child. We need a welfare check done. She keeps coming up with excuses of where the baby is. And once law enforcement got involved, you had all these different versions of the child was with her mother, the child was with a babysitter, the child was over here, the child was over there. She plays the role like she's concerned. As you heard her here with the fake crying, oh, my mother threatened me. I think we already know the child was never threatened. She was never threatened. Nobody held the baby hostage. Give us a break with this Kaylee Anthony BS. And we have to pray that we don't get 12 members of a jury that would think like those 12 goofy ass people did down in Florida. And those people should not sleep one night's rest, because it was obvious even with Kaylee Anthony, the child was suffocated deliberately, oxygen cut off deliberately by a human being, which would be Casey Anthony, the last person to see her. And this case is eerily similar. Thank you for joining me. I'll resume the video.
Sorry.
You're quite welcome, Ben. Good to see you.
All right, let's bring back in the think tank Michael Sterling, Ann Bremner, Terrence Malloy with us. This is, I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen here, and I'm reminded of that other case from Florida. There's so many parallels and similarities.
And I think the defense is going to go the same way, right? They're going to say, oh, this was an accident. She panicked, didn't know what to do, may even blame it on the boyfriend for tossing her in the trash. And then she panicked and she lied about her being missing. Is that where you see this thing going in?
Yeah, I do, and I don't. She'll remain nameless, right? The mother who was acquitted, as we all well know, and that could happen here. She could have exactly a defense like that. It's so horrific what happened to that little girl, and I'm a big fan of Joe Scott Morgan, and his description is such that it's almost like the jury's going to say the mother could never do that to her child, like Casey Anthony. A mother could never do that. Either she's mentally ill or she didn't do it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where she's going with it. And it sure worked for Casey Anthony in getting that acquittal when it was pretty clear that she was guilty.
Terrence Malloy, it's the classic example, and I think this is where the defense is going to go, basically arguing that it was an accident, there was panic, so the accident now looks like murder.
I wish I could think of a defense that would work. To be honest with you, I'm having a struggle. I've been a prosecutor too, so I've been on both sides of the aisle. And to hear the mother's story of she was asleep and she smothered the child, I mean, how hard are you sleeping that you don't know that was struggling with asphyxia, as your the investigator just stated? That's going to be something that's going to take a while, and the child's going to be acting out. So you're going to have a baby that's crying. So I don't know. I like my colleague there just stated, bringing up the Florida case, that I like the way they want to go, but how do you explain aluminum foil in the throat? How do you explain that this would be a slow, painful type of...
Very painful.
You were just asleep. Unless you're the hardest sleeping in the I'm having trouble with that.
Yeah. But Michael Sterling, and I'm reminded again, little Kaylee Marie Anthony down in Florida had duct tape over her mouth.
Right.
Jury didn't care. Jury didn't care. They thought it was a very reasonable explanation that she drowned in the pool. The baby drowns in the pool,
right.
And you cover the mouth with duct tape.
Exactly. Say that.
So here, could they come up with some other story like that could actually work with a jury?
Well, Benny, I never want to say the jury didn't care. 12 people come together to try to figure out what happened in a particular case and try to hold the prosecution to their burden of proof and listen to all the evidence. But the question becomes here is that, as we all know, the prosecution has the burden to prove everything beyond a reasonable doubt. So the question becomes, can the prosecution prove that someone intentionally put foil in her mouth, or was that something that a baby does, picks up a piece of foil, puts it in their own mouth, and the parents are not aware, right? And then that's exacerbated by the fact that, as the mother says, they sleep on the child. I don't know, Vinny, what the defense is going to do, but the question becomes, right, everything has to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. You've got to have all of these specific things happen beyond a reasonable doubt, every element of the crime. And so, it may not necessarily seem reasonable that, mother put something, a piece of foil in their child's mouth. I don't know. But that's something that the prosecution is going to have to deal with.
Yeah, and I look at duct tape over a child's mouth. I look at that as being worse than the foil.
Yeah.
In terms of what looks like murder.
It's all the same.
And both children, baby Evelyn and Kaylee Marie, were tossed away like garbage.
Yes.
Kaylee Marie around the corner from her house, tossed into the woods.
Yes.
And little Megan on the family's property, upside down in a trash bag. We'll see. That trial's coming up in February.
All right, everybody. Almost 3 years this going to trial, which is very ridiculous to me. I don't want to talk too much about Casey Anthony because she's a bottom feeder, but I don't understand how anyone in their right mind could have believed that her brother, her father, her mother, the guy who found her are all suspects in the death of Kaylee. As they said here, how do you go from drowning in the pool to duct tape over the mouth? Well, if they're already dead, why would I put duct tape over their mouth? Makes no sense. Why would I discard them in trash in a laundry bag? A laundry bag that matches your other bags, remember? 3 bags that came from Target, cream color canvas bags. The bag that the baby was found in happens to match 2 other bags that were in the garage. And yet you 12 members of the jury didn't even take that into consideration. The duct tape, the smell test done in the trunk by one of our renowned scientists coming out of Oak Ridge National Laboratory. These people do this for a living. They're experts. And everything had to first begin somewhere, such as a light bulb, the telephone, a car. Everything had to start somewhere. So the smell test done in the trunk, yes, it was in its infancy. But it's just like law officials say, I don't need to see a dead body to know a dead body was there, because I can smell it. Kind of like bleach. I don't need to see you use the bleach to know you had bleach out and you were cleaning with it. Same thing with frying chicken, fish, beef. I don't need to see the fucking cow in the damn pot to know you were cooking a steak. And the fact that you all voted to have her free is mind-boggling to me. Now, Tennessee. This woman lied from the get-go. She lied on the baby daddy. She lied on her mother. What else do you need? What else do you need? She took the police around the world and yah pertaining to this baby. They were in Virginia. They were in North Carolina. They were in Tennessee. And all along, she's sitting up here in a fucking trash can in a damn dollhouse. Because let me tell you something. You all better pray you don't get this court summons. Because if you even think you're going to wash your ass up in that courtroom playing crazy and psychotic along with her, oh, well, maybe it was it. Oh, I don't know what happened. Oh, I feel so sorry. And you need not walk around Tennessee. You need not walk, because let me tell you about up through China. Somebody going to tell you's on the jury. You can best believe that. You ain't got to worry about the reporters finding your damn name. They gonna find out. So if you think you want to go walk up in that court and let her go, you might as well go ahead and tell the court when you go in there, I don't want to be a juror. Because nobody lies like that if they had nothing to hide. This girl was willing to throw the baby daddy under the bus, and he was all the way down in Louisiana in the military. Oh, I took him down there. He came, she's down there. Then they call him. He don't even know what they're talking about. Then she goes, lies on her mother. Then they're running around chasing her all around in the state of North Carolina. One person after the other is the culprit. Now here we go, fast forward. 2.5 years later, now it's her and the boyfriend. So now you want to implicate the boyfriend. Now, I wonder how does he feel about that? So let's go here. You rolled over on top of the baby, both of you. Well, how did the foil get in her mouth? I'll wait. I will wait. How did aluminum foil get in the baby's mouth? So which is it? She choked on aluminum foil, or you rolled over on top of her by accident? Don't you all see what she's doing? She's doing what she did in the beginning, making up stuff. And even the sheriff said it. He ain't never seen nothing like it. The lying. That's why they went on and arrested her. And that's what a lot of these police departments need to start doing with these suspects. Stop waiting for evidence to come in. When you can prove that they're lying about the child, just arrest them for lying. Because they're wasting your resources with you running around, going from county to county, state to state, looking for stuff that doesn't exist because it's not true. So originally, this stupid bat was arrested for lying about where her child was. And I'm glad they did that. And then they brought forth the charges of the child once they found the child in that dollhouse. I'm going to bring you information now pertaining to that. Playhouse, dollhouse, it's all the same to me. Playhouse, I call it a dollhouse. I'm going to bring you information. The information is Val. As you heard, the child was put in a trash can, head first. So one could say, well, maybe there was fall already in the garbage bag. Maybe they put her in a trash bag that already had food and particles up in there. I don't know. I don't give a damn. I don't care if the bag was empty. I don't care if she put foil over her mouth to keep her quiet. I don't care if she stuffed her mouth with foil. I do not care because it's irrelevant. It just makes it worse hearing the details. This dirty bat killed that little girl and she put her in that trash bag, either alive or dead, and stored her in the playhouse on her parents' or father's property or whomever without a care in the world. And that's the end of the story for me. And that's how I feel about it. Let's bring you the gory details. God forgive me. TennesseeLookout.com is the source. Judge rules on trial use of photos in case of Sullivan County toddler Evelyn Boswell. This was uploaded the 26th of the month. After weeks of wild goose chases in the 2020 search for missing Sullivan County toddler Evelyn Boswell, authorities finally had a solid lead. It came March 6, 2020. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Agent Brian Fraley testified Friday at a hearing in Sullivan County Criminal Court from Evelyn's grandfather, Tommy Boswell Sr. So let's make that clear. Evelyn's grandfather, Tommy Boswell Sr., which would have been Megan's father. We received a call from Evelyn's grandfather talking about a storage shed on his property, Fraley said. He believed it may have been valuable for us to look in it and search. Now, why is that? I want you to think about what I'm reading to you now. March 6, 2020. Information came from Tommy Boswell Sr., Evelyn's grandfather, which is Megan's father. We received a call from Evelyn's grandfather talking about a storage shed on his property. He believed it may have been valuable for us to look in it and search. Now, why would you tell officials to go look into this shed? Thank you for joining me. Inside the storage shed on the Boswell family homestead on Muddy Creek Road was a playhouse Tommy Boswell Sr. had built years ago for Megan Boswell, his daughter and teenage mother of the then missing toddler. That playhouse had not been played in for years, Fraley said. When the agent opened the door to the playhouse, he saw a trash can that looked out of place. It was my belief the trash can was placed there recently, Fraley said. The agent said he removed the trash can from the playhouse, lifted a trash bag covering the top portion of the can, and peered inside. I observed a leg with a foot attached on top of the trash, the agent said. Let me repeat that again for those who are not in the hearing department. The agent opened the door to the playhouse, saw a trash can that looked out of place. It was my belief the trash can was placed there recently. The agent said he removed the trash can from the playhouse, lifted a trash bag covering the top portion of the can, and peered inside. I observed a leg with a foot attached on top of the trash, the agent said. Fraley said he knew at once that the mystery that had captured the attention of people across the world there was 15-month-old Evelyn had finally been solved. But a key question remained: was Evelyn dead from an accidental suffocation, as her mother was now claiming, when her tiny body was stuffed upside down in the trash can? An autopsy would soon provide what a forensic pathologist called a disturbing answer. This was not, as Megan Boswell claimed, an accidental asphyxia. Dr. Darinka Malusnik Potion testified Friday the manner of death was a homicide, quote unquote. No love like the love from your child. Megan Boswell is set to stand trial in February 2023 on charges including felony murder and the death of a child she once called her purpose and a reason to wake up every day. You can say whatever you want about me being a young mom, but I promise you my life is so much better with this angel, she wrote in a September 2019 Facebook post. And mind you, this post comes 2 months from when possibly the child went missing, 2 to 3 months before. My life wasn't ruined when I had her. She gave me a purpose and a reason to wake up every day and to better myself. There's no love like the love from your child. This is a 2019 September post from Megan Boswell, but talking about baby Evelyn. Until Friday, the cause and manner of toddler's death had been kept under wraps. The indictment served up by Sullivan County Grand Jury in August 2020 had alleged only that Evelyn died as a result of aggravated child abuse, or in the alternative, aggravated child neglect. The toddler was first reported missing early February 2020 by her grandfather, who told authorities the child had not been seen in more than 2 months. When detectives with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office asked Megan Boswell, then 18, about her daughter's whereabouts, the teenage mom initially insisted she was in the care of her 19-year-old father, Ethan Perry. She wasn't. Megan Boswell next accused her drug-addicted mother, Angela Boswell, of taking the child to a campground in Medota, Virginia, and leaving her there. A search of the campgrounds there put the lie to that claim. The teenager trotted out another story to both authorities and the media, claiming the toddler was safe with people she wouldn't name, before it finally admitted to TBI weeks after the disappearance that the child was dead. She claimed that it was an accidental death, that she and her boyfriend at the time were sleeping in bed with Evelyn, and when they woke up that morning that she was unresponsive, that she had been smothered, Fraley testified Friday. The agent said Megan Boswell conceded she had disposed of the child's body in a trash can, but wouldn't tell authorities where to find it. The whole case is disturbing. Malusnik Maposhin, who serves as chief medical examiner for Knox and Anderson counties and is an expert in fatal child abuse cases, testified at Friday's hearing that Evelyn was alive when she was tightly wrapped. Oh, Lord, I'm about to throw up. Okay. Ooh, Lord have mercy. I'm done. Jesus, give me. I ain't believing this. This is what I have been waiting on. Okay, just give me a minute, because I'm not believing what I'm about to hear. What I'm reading. Okay. Wow. Oh, damn. She was tightly wrapped in a fleece blanket, placed inside a trash bag. And shoved head first into the trash can found inside the playhouse. The disposal of this child was remarkable, the forensic pathologist testified. She was sort of compressed in the can. Oh, man. In an accordion-like position. There was a severe overextension of her head and neck, an extreme extension. The blanket was not just haphazardly placed around her body. It was tightly wrapped to prevent her from breathing. The blanket left imprints on Evelyn's skin. Malusnik Potion said Evelyn's head was pressed backward against her back and her face was pressed against the side of the trash can. Her knees were bent into her chest, and her legs and feet were lodged against her buttocks, the pathologist testified. Lord, I ain't believing this. Her feet and legs. How is that possible? Okay. Oh, man. Evelyn was dressed in a purple onesie with penguins on it and a diaper. The onesie, Maluznik Potion testified, was unzipped. So this was not a child dying in her sleep. She's too old for that, Maluznik Potion said of the accidental suffocation claim. She's too big for that. I don't know what she means by that. Oh, I guess meaning her dying in her sleep. She wasn't an infant. Okay. The forensic pathologist was summoned to testify Friday to explain to Sullivan County Criminal Court Judge James Goodwin why she believes jurors should be allowed to see photographs of the dead child taken as her body was removed from the trash can and unwrapped layer by layer. Attorney Brad Sproles, who represents Megan Boswell, insisted the photographs were so gruesome that jurors might convict his client solely as an emotional reaction. Under cross-examination by Sproles, Maluznik Potion acknowledged a close-up photograph of Evelyn's face was disturbing, but I think it's important to show how tightly confined her face was. You damn right they need to see the photographs. They don't need you to describe, because I'm doing that right now. It's not the same. Gruesome or not, they need to see how the child was put into the trash. Because right now I'm trying to visualize her legs and feet compressed to her buttocks. How could her feet and legs be? That means her knees would have had to be bent backwards. Basically her feet, what? Touching her butt. This is crazy to me. But when Sproles repeatedly pressed her to label all the photographs as disturbing, the medical examiner pushed back. The whole case is disturbing, she said. Goodwin ultimately ruled that the close-up photograph of Evelyn's face was so haunting that it might well prejudice jurors and cannot be used at trial. But Sullivan County District Attorney General Barry Staubus convinced Goodwin to allow jurors to see nearly a dozen other photographs taken after Evelyn's body was discovered. Staubus is seeking a sentence of life without parole if Megan Boswell is convicted of felony murder in the case. Citing intense pretrial publicity afforded the case, Sproles is asking Goodwin to move the trial outside Sullivan County. A hearing on the motion is set for December 16th. Jamie Satterfield is the journalist for this information. And I also got commentary that this bat was seeking another attorney. Let's see if I have that or not. Oh, Lord, help me, Jesus. I don't know what I just read to you all. If you need verification for the information I just brought to you, TennesseeLookout.com is the source. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Let me say this. Let me say this to the viewing audience. Let me say this to any mother whose spirit is troubled in raising her child. You're having thoughts of killing your child. You don't like your child. Let me just say this to anybody listening, anybody troubled. Do the right thing. Hand your baby to somebody else. Take your baby to another relative. Take your baby to an adoption agency. Take your baby, call DHS. Do what you have to do. But don't let your baby end up like this. There's no way in my right mind I'm going to believe that this child suffocated on a piece of foil or whatever. My thing is, she probably tortured the little girl. She probably put foil in her mouth. Who knows? Who's to say that she didn't put her in a trash bag that already had stuff in the damn bag, such as aluminum foil? Maybe foil was already in the bag with the trash. She threw the baby in head first. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying to you? This information says she was alive when she went in the bag. Let me make sure I repeat that again. So as I'm not repeating anything wrong. Dear God, this is ridiculous. Oh, man. There's just no words right now. Lord Jesus, I can't. This is a child that was in a garbage can. A plastic bag first, then a garbage can. Now you put that on paper. She was a beautiful baby. Beautiful. And you want me to believe this baby got rolled over on and or suffocated on a piece of damn foil. Okay. If you say so. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm going to reread what was said about the death of the baby. Hallucinate Paulson. She's very well known here in Knoxville, Tennessee, Anderson County for doing autopsies. She serves as the chief medical examiner for Knox and Anderson counties, and she's an expert in fatal child abuse cases. She testified Friday that Evelyn was alive when she was tightly wrapped in a fleece blanket placed inside a trash bag and shoved head first into the trash can found inside the playhouse. So she put her in alive, tightly wrapped in a fleece blanket, then put head first into the trash bag and shoved head, well, it says placed inside a trash bag and shoved head first into the trash. Into the trash can found inside the playhouse. Now I ask you, what part of that information I just brought to you would make you think she accidentally died in the bed? That is this woman's job. Like so many other medical examiners, is to determine the manner of death. And I believe everything she said in this report, that the child was alive when she was put into a trash bag wrapped in a blanket. She was obviously wrapped in the blanket tight as to compress her body, suffocate her, and then put in the trash to die and suffocate. So there was no rolling over on her in the bed, no choking on aluminum foil, because that's not mentioned here. That's just another cocked up version from Megan Boswell. You are a dirty bat. You are a dirty, dirty heathen. And I partially blame your stinking ass parents because they didn't raise you properly, which is still no excuse. But I know you had a jacked up childhood because all your mommy and daddy did was fuss and fight. Your daddy chasing your mom around, trying to hurt her and beating up her boyfriend, and she's sleeping with this Paul, Dick, and Joe. You didn't have no proper upbringing, you and your damn brothers. I get it. But a lot of children didn't have a proper upbringing, but they don't go out here and kill their damn kids. And that lady that took you in at the end, why the hell you didn't take your baby to her? Why you didn't ask her, hey, ma'am, can you help me with my kid? Hey, ma'am, I'm having problems raising my child. Hey, ma'am, I'm not feeling attached to my kid. Why didn't you go take your child to somebody else? And another thing that's bothering me is this version from the damn investigator that your stupid ass father is the one that told him, go check the playhouse. Well, let me ask you this, Paw Paw. Did you go look in that damn trash can yourself? Because I always said that when they found the baby's body, the first thing I said was, the place she was found, was it locked, not locked? Whose property was it? How is it that you don't notice somebody's going into your property sheds, storing stuff? I always found that odd. So let me guess. The playhouse was what? In the shed, and the garbage can was inside the playhouse. So you went your ass in that shed and found that, went in there looking around, which you should, because it's your property. But where I have the problem is, why would you be telling an investigator, hey, I think you need to go look in the shed? Because you went in there and you saw that that baby was in that damn trash can in that playhouse, which was in your shed, and you found the baby. So you decided to call and say, hey, think you need to come over here and look at something, because you're the one that found the damn baby. So what I want to know is, how long did you know the damn baby was in the trash can? What made you go look in there? Oh, all the gossip on YouTube and the news and social media, they think I did something. They looking on my property and under my trailers. I best to go around here and look and see if I can find this baby. And voila, she's on your property in the shed. I'm done. I'm so done with you damn hillbillies, I don't know what to do. All of you all are the same to me. You, your ex-wife, new wife, old wife, her many boyfriends that mess up there in the holler, Rogersville, all of y'all are the same. You just don't care about nothing. You're just street trash. Yeah, I'm saying it. And I don't care who don't like it. You're street trash. All you care about is hee-hawing around, smoking, chiefing, getting turned up, drunk, running around with guns and rifles and shit. Man, don't nobody care nothing about that stuff y'all got going on up there in the country. You people are wayward. And that's why your children turn up jacked up. That's why she's jacked up. That's why there's a baby now dead. She killed that baby. She killed that baby. Just the way this lady has described finding the baby is enough to make you throw up. Hell, when the detectives went in there and found her, they knew she was murdered. They know that baby ain't died because of how she was wrapped in the damn blanket. You ain't gonna wrap no baby like that. Because a decent person, if they accidentally hurt their child or the child had an accident, they call 911. That's something you do to get rid of a person because you don't want them found. This is ridiculous. This ain't nothing but Kaylee Anthony all over again. And that bitch walked. Let me make that clear. 12 people, 12 different sacks of shit voted to let Casey Anthony off. And you all are so worried about, we need to change the venue. And where are you going to go where so don't nobody know that you killed that damn baby? Up here? What county are you going to take it to in Tennessee where we don't know about her? Yeah, I'm pissed off because I was not expecting to read that. So you go in court all you want, and what you going to say? Oh, the medical examiner, she ain't got the information right. I beg to differ. So who you going to say killed the baby now? Because I know by the time you go to court in February, you're going to do one of them bias movements. You're going to start bringing in the butcher, the baker, the brothers, the daddy. What version you going to have in February? Because she's already lied. So I want to know what version the lawyer's going to come up with. Because you think that boy ain't going to go in that court and testify against Megan and say, I ain't rolled over on no baby. I ain't help her put no baby in no trash bag. And he ought to be very pissed off at her right now. Very pissed off. Because he's probably 2 minutes from wanting to strangle her. Suffocate her and put her ass in a damn trash bag. How about that? How about we give you the same treatment you gave that baby? How about we go up in that damn Sullivan County jail and wrap your ass up in some sheets and stuff some foil down your damn throat and put you in a damn bag upside down and close it up and put you in a trash can and stuff your body till it breaks. Because as they said, you stuff that baby in there like a fucking accordion. I'm done with this. I'm so over this right now. I'm almost in tears. I'm beside myself. That's my commentary, because I can't say no more about this bad. This is making my stomach turn. If you need verification for the information I just brought you, TennesseeLookout.com is the source. I'm over myself. And I'm going to say this right now. They may not let that one picture be revealed in court, but the other pictures will still speak volumes. And naturally, when the photographer is taking the pictures for forensics, they're going to take pictures from head to toe of a corpse. That's their job. That's their job, because they have to show everything, how the victim looked at the time of death. So you have to see them from head to toe. Their face, what their face looked like, if there were any bruising, any puncture wounds. That's their job. So the judge, you are wrong for not allowing that picture in, because in the end, the people are going to be haunted by any of the pictures because you're showing a baby. You're showing a dead baby. So they're going to be haunted either way. Because my thing is, if you're going to take one picture out, what's the difference in taking another picture? Death is death. She's dead. Damn redneck ass towns. I'm just pissed off. I'm beside myself. My last story, Debbie Collier. I got new information coming from Nancy Grace. It's a doozy. Well, what do we have here down in Georgia? What's been going on down there? Who killed Debbie Collier? What's the motive for the death of Debbie Collier? Thank you all so much for your time. I'm an hour and a half into this information. This is an all-around live pertaining to different subject matters. This is Throwdown Thursday, where I bring you different breaking news in the U.S. Right now, I'm going to give you a synopsis of what's going on pertaining to Debbie's case. The U.S. Sun is the source. The boyfriend of Debbie Collier's daughter has spoken out after the mother was found dead. 59-year-old was mysteriously found dead in a ravine in rural Georgia, September 11th. Andrew Gigerich, the boyfriend of Collier's daughter, Amanda Bearden, told Fox News Digital that the couple have barricaded the front and back doors of their home. He went on to insist that he and Bearden had nothing to do with Collier's death and are a little scared themselves. Collier's body was discovered less than 24 hours after she was seen in a dollar store. No suspect has been identified or charged in connection with her disappearance and death. Fox News does point out that the prosecution abandoned their case against her. I don't know who they're talking about. Additionally, Gigerich has a criminal history that stretches back to 2020 when he entered a guilty plea to 3 counts of domestic assault and disorderly conduct. He was given probationary period at the time, but a year later, he was in prison for 10 days on a fresh domestic-related charges involving Bearden. Following a DUI arrest, he also entered a guilty plea to reckless driving in January. The dark past of Amanda Bearden. Police are still looking into what happened, even though they have not yet named any suspects in Collier's death. 36-year-old daughter Amanda Bearden, who also has a lengthy criminal history dating back more than 10 years, is one of the individuals they have looked into in relation to her death, reported Fox News. She is allegedly engaged in countless instances of domestic violence throughout the years with numerous ex-boyfriends. After a fight with her then boyfriend, Andrew Gigerich, she was charged in 2021 with falsely reporting a crime. This was her most recent charge. Okay. Now they're saying that Debbie shared a Facebook article pertaining to aiding victims, and this was pertaining to Gabby Petito at the time in November 2020. In the 2015 post, 2 women were shown with a black dot on the palm of their hands. It read, "The black dot on the hand lets the professionals know you're a really vulnerable domestic violence survivor and that you need help, but can't ask because your abuser's watching your every move. In just 24 hours, the campaign had reached 6,000 people worldwide and has already helped 6 women. Please spread the campaign and post a picture of your hand with the black dot to show your support to all survivors of domestic violence. The meaning of the hand signal is similar to the one that investigators hypothesized Gabby Petito had employed as a call for assistance just before she died. But I don't know if that's true or not. But anyway, this is pertaining to Debbie's son, Jeffrey Bearden. Said the family's struggling to come to terms with her loss, incredibly disturbed by the gruesome details that surrounded his mother's death. I will never be able to fully understand the loss of my mother and what she meant to me. She was the longest source of love, support, and encouragement. I've been incredibly hurt and disturbed by some of the reporting and information shared regarding the investigation into my mother's death, he added. Bearden has now asked for privacy and for attention on his mother's tragic death, so be focused on aiding the police. So what is it that you're disturbed by that they've told you, sir? That's what I'm concerned with, or curious rather. I'm incredibly hurt and disturbed by some of the reporting and information. Well, what is it that the news has reported that you feel is what? Inaccurate, facetious in nature? You don't like the fact that what? They're talking about your sister? They're bringing up information pertaining to your sister's background, your sister's domestic violence incidents, criminal record, her boyfriend's criminal record. Well, they have every reason to bring those things up because while your mother's in transport before death, she sent her money. So as it's been said, how would a victim of kidnapping be sending someone anything with their kidnapper there? So who are you upset with? Yeah, I'm gonna go there. It is what it is. Because a kidnapper is not gonna have you send money, have the victim send money to somebody else, and they're standing there if indeed they're kidnapping that person for the means of robbery. So I'm gonna say it again. Why would a kidnapper have the mother send money to the daughter? I'll wait. How would the kidnapper even come about asking? What would be the purpose of asking? Did the kidnapper intend on talking to your damn sister? Did the kidnapper intend on getting with your sister to get the money? Why would the kidnapper need for your mother to send your sister money when the kidnapper is there with the mother and the damn card? I'll wait. Since you're so disturbed. And I don't mean to be mean, but right now it doesn't make any sense what you're saying. Because this is what happens in an investigation. They decide what they want to reveal to the public, and it is what it is. And as I've always told people, you don't like what's being said about you, to stay your ass out the damn news. How about that? And it's not to be mean to you, but your sister's been busy. And now we're getting conflicting versions. First, she's at home with your stepdaddy, reporting your mama missing. Now somebody's telling Nancy Grace she says she's at the damn dollar store. So which is it? So once again, who are you angry with? The public is not your problem. I think you need to look closer to home if you want to throw daggers. Because anybody knows you always follow the money trail. That's just common sense. Now, when you look at the situation of how your mother died, the law officials are trained to know homicide versus suicide. And they have ruled out suicide and they have ruled out kidnapping. So that doesn't leave anything else but homicide by somebody that knows your mother. It is what it is. Lord have mercy. According to an incident report, Habersham County Sheriff's Office got information 5 p.m. September 10th at Tallulah Falls. The Debbie Collier's rental Chrysler Pacifica was on the Highway 15 on the side of the highway. The policeman claimed that driving to the location was standard. Since Debbie's family was unable to give Athens police information about the make and registration number of the car, it's possible that the officer was unaware that the vehicle was the focus of a missing person inquiry. We found out a year ago that Debbie Collier's daughter's boyfriend threatened her, the daughter, in a note he wrote. If you or your family ever come near me again, I will hurt them. Former amateur MMA fighter Andrew Gigerich allegedly shared in a handwritten note. Oh, God, give me a break. The boyfriend of Debbie Collier's daughter had said the couple had nothing to do with the death of Miss Debbie, and they have been left scared. He told Fox Digital that the couple barricaded themselves and the back doors. On Saturday, September 10th, Amanda Bearden, Debbie's daughter, tried to call her mother after receiving a message from her. So now you want us to believe the kidnappers, which have been denounced by law enforcement, told your mother to send the daughter a message along with $2,300, but then would tell her to turn the phone off. Woo, you can't make this stuff up. Bearden's daughter called Athens Clark County Police after Debbie Collier, 59, failed to return any of her calls. And mind you, now we have this at 3 hours of the said situation. We're now getting information that she and the stepfather, called 3 hours after knowing something was wrong with the woman's phone and getting that cryptic message. Investigators discovered Debbie left the house and her husband shared on September 10th in a rented SUV. The last public surveillance footage is the final public appearance pertaining to Debbie. A Family Dollar store in Clayton, Georgia was entered by Collier at 2:55 p.m. September 10th when she was sporting a University of Georgia football jersey, shorts, red visor. She was also seen carrying a sizable black pocketbook as well as her car keys, according to the surveillance footage. Who is Debbie Collier? 59 years of age, real estate office manager. Outside of her sudden passing, little information is available on her personal life as she tended to stay out of the spotlight. So it leads me to wonder, did she have any social media accounts? TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, IG. However, they said she was an avid social media user and posted pictures about her life on Facebook to her friends. So then that's kind of contradictory then. How could she be out of the spotlight if she posts stuff on Facebook? Oh, I don't know. K9 discovered her approximately a quarter mile off the road down an embankment. She was discovered on her back, grasping at a small tree with one hand. Investigators also discovered items that she bought at the nearby Family Dollar. These comprised the red tote bag and the tarp, both of which had flame marks. Although they have not officially disclosed the reason for her death, investigators soon determined that it was a homicide. They claimed to have ruled out a possible kidnapping last week. Nobody has been identified as a suspect or a person of interest. Debbie rented that vehicle because her car was in the shop. She shares her house with her husband and rented that vehicle September 10th. I don't know, they got that kind of worded weird. Sirius XM satellite radio technology tracked down the rented car while officials were investigating Ms. Collier's whereabouts. They located the car 60 miles away from Collier's home and informed the sheriff's office. Habersham County Sheriff's deputies discovered the rental and used the canine to locate her body. She was found dead in a ravine nearby, out of sight from the highway, News 11 reported. The journey to the Family Dollar barely took 14 minutes, according to the authorities, and Debbie was traveling alone. Let me repeat that. 14 minutes. The journey to the Family Dollar. So now we're going to ask 14 minutes from where? The dump site? She appears to be calm and not in fear of anything, the sheriff told the Daily Beast. A private investigator gives his commentary. Jensen says the fact that the missing mom was naked and burned may mean someone was attempting to hide DNA evidence. If digital devices don't give you away, the next thing investigators look for is DNA, Jensen said. Her stomach was charred, so it's possible that the potential suspect or suspects tried to light her clothes on fire and didn't work and they stripped her. Jensen said he believes Collier's death wasn't related to arson and noted that the investigators have yet to confirm what killed her. He doesn't believe she was kidnapped either, Jensen says, because she was able to transfer money via Venmo. But he said the message that was sent along with the money was someone trying to say they're being held captive. But it doesn't seem probable that Collier was kidnapped, as the suspect wouldn't let her use her phone. Exactly. Why would I kidnap you, let you send this message, then cut the phone off? See, none of this doesn't even make any logical sense. That's the version from the daughter. She tried calling. September 9th, neighbors hear a commotion at the Collier's Athens home. Is this true or not? September 10th, she leaves the home in a rental car. September 10th, 2:55, seen on a surveillance camera in Clayton, Georgia. September 10th, 3:09, she leaves the Family Dollar with a poncho, torch lighter, tarp, tote bag, and paper towels. September 10th, 3:17, Collier allegedly wires money through Venmo and messages her daughter. So from 3:09 to 3:17, she has left the store. Got in a car and messaged her daughter. That's 8 minutes. What happened from the time she got out of the store, got in her car, and then have to send this message to the daughter and send this money? The money is wired. Messages 3:17. Next day at 12:44 p.m. on the 11th, she's found dead in Clarksville, Georgia. Debbie was found dead 13 miles from the Family Dollar, where she was shopping hours before. So they're putting that time from the time she left the store till the next day. At 12:44 p.m., September 11th. What happened from the time she walked out that store to 3:17 sending that message, everybody? The boyfriend and girlfriend had a turbulent past. Debbie's daughter and boyfriend. In May of 2021, Bearden claimed her boyfriend had broken into her home, screamed at her, and attacked her. Police arrived. They allegedly found bruises on her body. Are these people related to this crime? Neighbors say that the couple was reclusive. Debbie and her husband wouldn't come to cookouts. What's the truth about these people? TheSun.com is the source of this information. There's something I wanted to play for you all. Look up this information about Nancy Grace. Some information I came across earlier. I'm hoping I still have it. Yeah, this is it. Fox Nation is the source.
Debbie Collier's daughter to get clothing.
Hold on one second.
All Alcorn, what I'm gathering is the MMA boyfriend, mixed martial arts boyfriend, is trying to get into the home that he shares with Debbie Collier's daughter to get clothing out, and police show up. And he tells cops, this is from the police body cam, sound and footage. He tells cops, his words, not mine, that she takes $500 or $600 from his check, and he's broke, even though he makes good money, because she takes it and spends it on drugs.
Yeah, that's what he's accusing her of. And they stayed together this whole time. So it's not like they were split up forever. They had these fights. They stayed together. Another interesting part about this is they were living in Maryland, and they just moved back to Athens 2 days before Debbie Collier vanished.
Repeat
So
that.
they lived in Maryland, and what they have told us is they moved back to Athens 2 days prior to Debbie Collier vanishing.
Who told you that?
And Amanda. He did. He has said that. He's told numerous people that. Their phones have also been taken away.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
His and her phone.
Let that sink in. The daughter who her live-in is accusing her of stealing his money to buy dope. Again,
Right.
We're not making that allegation.
Right.
He did. They just moved back 2 days before the mom is murdered. Alcorn, yes?
Yes.
Dr. West.
Sorry about that, everybody.
A teen girl who ran up to Cody Alcorn. What I'm gathering is the MMA boyfriend, mixed martial arts boyfriend, is trying to get into the home that he shares with Debbie Collier's daughter to get clothing out, and police show up. And he tells cops, this is from the police body cam, sound and footage. He tells cops, his words, not mine, that she takes $500 or $600 from his check, and he's broke, even though he makes good money, because she takes it and spends it on drugs.
I want to stop right there so I can give this commentary and get you all on your evening. Thank you all for joining me. This is new information being repeated to Nancy Grace. Many of us know Nancy Grace. Fox Nation is the source if you need verification. Who is the person speaking to Nancy Grace? What is his relation to this boyfriend of Miss Bearden? Because all this is going to matter down the road when we get a suspect and an arrest trial. Who is the person speaking to Nancy Grace? What is his relation to this guy, Gigerich, however you pronounce his name? He says he's been telling lots of people that they just moved back. So one would say, well, that's not nothing to lie about. Why would you lie about moving to Georgia? That's not anything major to lie about. So let's say for the record that the daughter, Bearden, and this Gigerich moved to Georgia from Maryland 2 days before Miss Collier was found deceased. What is the relevance of this move? Is it relevant to the death of the victim? We know that these two have had a troubled past. And the one thing I was questioning myself this week was, where did they live? When I got the information that the mother was found in upper part of Georgia, the first thing I said was, well, where does the daughter live? Because that's going to be relevant to the storyline. Where does the daughter live? Did the daughter live in the same town with the mother? Did the daughter live in the house with the mother and the stepfather? Did she live around the corner? Did she live 20 minutes away? So we're going to ask it again. If they just moved here, where did they live? I had understanding that she lived in one of the properties or something that the stepfather owned. I think I heard that. If not, I'll correct that. So did he offer them a place to stay in maybe a rental property? As I said, what is the relevance to this new move to Georgia, if this is true, to the death of the mother? I think we already know that this daughter is behind the death of Debbie Collier, because police have already eliminated kidnapping and suicide. So that doesn't leave anything else but homicide. And that can't be nothing but homicide by a stranger or homicide by somebody that knows Debbie Collier. One person who has a network said in their video that we shouldn't be speculating about how she died. Well, first of all, I'm grown and I'll speculate what I want to speculate. Because in the end, it's the police that's giving out the information pertaining to the disappearance of Debbie Collier. They have now released photos of the scene of where she died. They've released that she didn't kill herself, and they've released that she wasn't kidnapped. So why would I not speculate? So long as I'm not passing it as fact, how I think she died, that's a difference. But once again, it's still my opinion. So it doesn't matter to me. We're going to speculate. So long as you make the news, people are going to speculate. Whether you're the victim, whether a suspect has been named or not. It's what we do. We're human. And sometimes, yes, we get it wrong. So I can see why a person would say, don't speculate, but we are human. And I'm going to speculate because the police gave out the information about the Venmo account. Had they not given that, I wouldn't really have to speculate on anything. I didn't have to ever mention the husband. I definitely would have never probably mentioned the daughter. But I got information from somewhere. I can remember what I was reading or saw where it's mentioned, because I thought it was mentioned in this Nancy Grace clip, that the daughter was saying to somebody that she was in the dollar store. Now, I just read your commentary where it says Miss Collier was alone in the car. We saw her go alone in the store. But do they have verification that she was alone in her car? Bingo card. Was Debbie Collier alone in her vehicle? Did she go meet somebody up Clayton, Georgia, Clarksville, Georgia, wherever she was? Did she meet somebody? Those things that were found near the body at the dump site were the items that she purchased in the Family Dollar. So one would ask, well, why would you discard those items? What is the relevance in discarding them? But then one's going to say, okay, what is the relevance of the purse? Where's the purse? Where are her shoes? Where are her bottoms? Where is the visor she was wearing? The contents of her purse? Where were her keys to the car and house? All those things are relevant. Did Debbie have somebody else inside of her car with her? Did somebody follow her up the highway to the Family Dollar or wherever she was going? Where was she going September 10th? Was she going to meet a friend, her daughter, a family member? And as someone said, just because you saw her with a Georgia Bulldog shirt on doesn't mean she was tailgating. Who's to say that she bought those items? Was this a ruse? Somebody else wanted those items and she bought those for somebody else. Maybe somebody told her to pick those things up. They needed them. But as we see, where she was discarded, they weren't needed because they were discarded with the victim. So what was the purpose of the tarp, the tote, the lighter, paper towels? Because at first I thought it was toilet paper when I was looking at the video, but then it's been related with paper towels. I'm going to go out on a limb for what I'm going to say about the items that Debbie purchased. Lord, forgive me. Oh, mercy. The items that Debbie purchased at the Family Dollar were deliberate by the killer. The killer asked for those items because the killer knew they were going to wrap her in the tarp and light her with the lighter. Bingo card. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? I don't think there's any other explanation due to the fact that she was charred in certain places on her body. So that means the lighter was used. The tarp was used. The tote was thrown out. Perhaps they needed those items to put in the tote to carry the things down when they decided to discard the body of Debbie Collier in the ravine. Stay woke. Kind of meticulous, if you ask me. Need something to carry these things in. Am I wrong? I could be. But you have to ask yourselves why all those things were discarded with her. What was the purpose? Come on, Angela. Make them figure it out. What did the man say during this commentary about DNA? Anybody listening to the Queen? Wow, I can't believe I didn't figure this out before. I touched those things. My fingerprints are on the tarp. Come on with it, Queen. Paper towels. My fingerprints are on all of that. Prints are on the tote. Bring them on home, Queen. I gotta burn it all with the victim bingo card. That's why all that was thrown out with the victim. Parts of the shirt or the shirt is charred as well. Where are the rest of her clothing? Shoes, purse, contents of her purse, car keys. Where are those items? Stay woke. See, everything is in the details. You planned this trip possibly to Tennessee, if I'm to believe the information is accurate. You planned to get this woman alone to kill her, your mother, for the reasons of robbery. Who knows what this woman has already willed this bat? And I know everybody that uses drugs is not the same, but this chick seems to have issues. She and this guy. You have to ask yourself the obvious. What are you doing here in Tennessee? Why are you here? What are the odds of your mother going missing and dead 2 days after you arrive here with this troublesome boyfriend, plus you're troublesome and wayward as well? What the fuck is wrong with this boyfriend to keep wanting to be with a woman that allegedly steals his money out of his account for drugs? He looks like he's all of 10 years old. Two misfits together, but won't leave each other alone. Stay woke. Who's to say he ain't getting high too? Is she still currently getting high? Now, some could say we're jumping the gun and saying the daughter's behind it, but as they say, I follow the money. You follow the money because it doesn't add up that a stranger is going to be sending money to this chick if they're indeed the kidnapper and the killer or the robber. I don't know her, so what am I going to tell her? This victim, hey, go send your daughter some money while I'm kidnapping you. So it doesn't even make logical sense. That's why you always have to chop up the information that's been given to you. So if anybody wants to get mad about what's been told to us, get mad at the police. We don't have anything to do with what the police tells us. This is the information they want to give us. And yes, whatever commotion was going on, I don't think the neighbors were making that up. Probably was a commotion. Probably was arguing over money. Somebody needed money. Ask yourselves this. If it's true that they just moved here, how much money did they have on hand when they touched down soil? How much money did they bring in their bank account? How much cash did they have on hand? Did they need to pay for something? Rental car or U-Haul? See, you don't know all those things. Because that's the whole point of a story. You get bits and pieces. And you always got to remember that somebody is not going to tell you the truth in a story. So whatever is told to the news, you either believe it or you don't. It is up to detectives and law officials to decide if what has been told is the truth. That's not our job. That's not our job. That's all we have to go on. It's what is told to law officials. And 9 times out of 10, it's a little bit of truth, it's a little bit of a lie. And I know that if you lie about one thing, you'll lie about another. And if these two just moved here, they would need help. You got to have a job, got to have a place to stay, you got to have money to eat. So one, you got to ask, where were they staying? Did they have jobs already? Did they move to Georgia with jobs already? Was this a means to try to get anything via will? I don't know. So you don't know what the type of relationship the mother had with the daughter? You don't know if she told her that she would leave her something of value? Who's to say? Who's to say? And as one person said, hey, we don't know anything about the husband. For all we know, hell, he could have been in cahoots with the daughter. You don't know. And it sounds cruel to talk about people in this manner, but that's the point. We don't know these people. And we know that in true crime, most true crime is not random. Most victims are killed by people they know. That is stats. That is stats. That is not make-believe or speculation. That is stats. People hurt people they know. Not a rumor, not rhetoric, but the truth. And it will be a shame if we later find out this woman was harmed by her husband, a friend, co-worker, and or her child and boyfriend. But it's looking to me like it's somebody close to her, such as her daughter. That's how I feel because of the Venmo money. Because you have to ask yourself, with all the talking and revealing of information pertaining to Debbie Collier, when are we going to find out about the damn Venmo account? When are we going to find out what was spent with the $2,300? When did she spend it? What did she buy? How much of the money is left? Bingo card. And how about this? Will Pawpaw let you all continue to live around there? Help y'all now that Mama is gone. Stay woke. Were they invited to move to Georgia? Bingo card. Or did they just say, hey, we're going to come on down, spur of the moment? Parents made provision. I don't know. The argument the night before, the commotion, was it an argument between wife and husband, mother and daughter, mother, daughter, and son? Something come up missing, something broke, something borrowed? I don't know. Were these people arguing? And what were they arguing over if indeed they were the participants fueling? And let's go here. If they were arguing, well, I don't know, my next. I don't know if that's the daughter. I think the daughter has longer hair, so that's not Debbie. I mean, that's not the daughter, because Debbie had platinum blonde hair, short, as one of the recent photos, and you can see the person in that photo had platinum blonde hair, short, kind of woolly looking. My point is, let's say the mother was arguing with the daughter or the son and all of them arguing, however it goes. Why in the world will I get up and send her money the next day? I tell you all to think about the details. See, that's something a lot of people don't do. They assume stuff without thinking. I try to think first before speaking it out. Make it make sense before you repeat it. And basically, law officials have already narrowed out some of the hypotheses I could have come up with. random stranger, carjacker. Carjacker would have that car all around Atlanta, different parts of Georgia. Stay woke. The Atlanta metro area is known for carjacking. The car would have never been found in the middle of nowhere if it was a carjacking. Stay woke. Stay woke. If it was a carjacking / robbery, come on, bring it to him, Queen. They ain't ready. The robber would have the damn Venmo card, bingo card. You missed that. Tell you, y'all ain't paying attention. The robber would have the Venmo card, him or herself. You all didn't think about that? Come on now. I know some of my viewers are a little more swift. You're out looking for somebody to rob. Why in the world are you sending money on a card to strangers and you are the robber? You'd have no need to do that. You'd have no need to send anybody a damn thing. The only thing you would possibly ask is the PIN number. I don't have a Venmo, so I don't know how it works. I guess it's as similar as Cash App, but you get my point. That is the only thing you'll be asking from the victim. Hey, I need the PIN to get the money off. And as someone said earlier pertaining to this case, the same thing to do when you're dealing with cash cards, ATM cards, is to take the person to the bank. Bingo card. Take them to the bank to get the money out the bank. So nobody took her to the bank. She didn't go to the bank. You don't have her on camera going to the bank with another person. You don't have another person using her card at the bank allegedly. So all options are deleted as far as hypotheses and speculations. Did I clear it up for you all? That daughter had something to do with the death of her own mother, Debbie Collier. The boyfriend is possibly involved because what you have to ask yourselves is this. If now she's putting herself at the scene of the dollar store, where was the boyfriend? I'll wait. Ain't nobody listening to the queen. Come on, bring it to him, queen. They ain't ready. They got a car. How did they get to Georgia? Is anybody following me? Her vehicle was left on the side of a highway, her rental. So that means the killer had to have an alternate car, bingo card. You had to get back to Georgia. The bottom of Georgia, 1 hour and a half from where you were, if you were actually with your mother or followed her up there. That's what took up your 3 hours to call to say that your mother was missing. Come on, queen. See, I always got my thinking cap on because I listen. Well, I don't know about where her purse was found. I haven't gotten any information on that, sweetheart, because I don't be on every network. But I use deduction without the news's help. I'm pretty good at that deduction part because I use common sense. Yes, I know that a killer will be erratic in his or her behavior, such as all the goings on that went on with the Liza Fletcher case and what all that killer was doing back and forth over here, over there. But I use deduction with what the victim was doing, because what the victim was doing is what's going to give me the information I need to decide on who, what, when, where, why, and how. You see, everything that you do lays out the foundation for the story. Who you are, what you do, who you talk to, where you go. And the one negative thing pertaining to this woman that we know of is her child. the Venmo card. We didn't need nothing else after that. The only thing we're missing is an actual videotape of the damn murder. Because let me tell you something about people when they speak. When you have done wrong, you will rarely think about how you use your words. Stay woke, everybody. When the killer wrote, because we know it's not the victim, the cryptic message, "They won't let me go." Stay woke. "They won't let me go." The killer was speaking of herself and her co-conspirator. They, meaning us. We won't let her go. Because we are the ones doing this to my mom. So when the daughter wrote that message, yeah, I'm going to go on and say it. When she wrote that message on her mama's phone, she was speaking about her damn self. And her co-conspirator, which is 9 times out of 10, her boyfriend. Us. We did this. We killed mom. We are stealing mom from mom's account / stepdad's account. We did this. Us. Us is they. Some people say I should have majored in law. No, thank you. I'll pass. I do enough reading for this up here. You see, the gift of having a discerning spirit is that you can see things that other people can't see. You can hear things that other people can't hear. You can feel things that other people can't feel. And that is one reason why, by the grace of God, I'm still alive today, the discerning spirit. It's not to say that I have not made mistakes, could not have put myself in dire situations, which I have because I am a human being. But one thing I do know is that the spirit always tells me when something is awry with another human being. But it is up to I to tread forward. I'm working on listening to the spirit the first time and not double backing. Because usually listening to that voice that tells you, don't do that. Don't go there. Don't make that call. Don't say that. Is usually right. And my spirit tells me this kid killed her mom with help. And that she's obviously had some issues with her mother. She has no respect for her mother. She's self-entitled. Her mother has possibly bailed her out of a lot of situations and circumstances. The mother did not know how to tell her daughter no. She's always been running to her aid. She's enabled her daughter. See you later, 5. She's enabled this kid who's now become a murderer. And a lot of people don't think that a thief can become a murderer, but I think we already know this. You see, you don't know the lengths people will go for the come up. And people have died for less than $2,385. People have died for $50, $20, a cracked rock, a ring, a car, a house, property, whatever. Various reasons people leave here. Because the value is only worth to the person that's committing the crime. That's why the dollar amount never matters. It's the mindset of the killer. It's valuable to him, her, at that time. So you offer $1,500 to knock off somebody. If it's worth it to him or her, then they'll take the offer. They need more than they ask. If you say, well, this is all I got, then it's up to them to make that decision. Now, maybe Paul over here won't kill somebody for $1,500, but somebody else will. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everybody's different. And one could say, who would kill their parent for less than $3,000? This one, Miss Bearden. She didn't. Because if indeed she's a junkie, $2,300 is a lot of money. Stay woke. That's a lot of fentanyl. That's a lot of crack. That's a lot of cocaine. That's a lot of pills. That's a lot of heroin. Until it's all smoked up. Then you're back to zero. And you got to start the hustle all over again. Fortunately, we have a jail and prison system that can put a stop to the hustle. And there'll be no more stealing, robbing, defrauding, people crying about who's stealing out their bank account that you've been allowing. Yes, I'm talking about the boyfriend, because it makes no sense for him to continue to be with a woman who's robbing him if indeed he's the same boyfriend. Prison will put a stop to all of the shenanigans. And let's talk about the boyfriend before I check out of here. If indeed he is also a co-conspirator, why in God's name would you throw away your life to help this bum kill her own mother? That leads me to believe that you too are a junkie. How about that? You too are a junkie. Because make me understand why, one, you would be still dating a thief. Two, help aid a thief in murdering their own parent. Like minds. Maybe these two were more alike than people realized, such as Debbie Collier. What does the husband have to say about the allegations of possibly the daughter being involved, if indeed he's not involved? How does he feel now? How does the son feel about the allegations made about his sister possibly being involved? What do they have to say about the Venmo account? I'd like to hear what they have to say about the Venmo account. It will be very interesting for them to speak. Someone in the chat is saying the purse was at her house, Miss Collier. Okay, that's fine. That's my point. The too many things in the story that have not been revealed that I think we already have the answer to. It's just a matter of waiting on law officials to say, this is where the purse, the pants, the visor, the car keys are. Because what you have to ask yourself is the obvious. If the tarp, the paper towels, the tote, and the shirt were burned with the victim, then where's the purse? Where are her shoes? Where are the car keys? Where are all those things? Where are the keys left in the ignition of the SUV? Were the doors locked or unlocked? What all was put in the car when she went up the highway? What was the reason for her going an hour and 30 minutes out of her way? Did someone ask Debbie Collier to purchase those items that you saw her on the video at the Family Dollar? Was it a ruse to get her out September 10th to her death? Was this a planned, orchestrated crime by her daughter and daughter's boyfriend? Are they the culprits in the death of Debbie Collier? Will they finally admit that they killed this lady? Or was it just the daughter by herself? And if indeed it was she alone, where was the boyfriend? Why are they now scared? Bingo card. Scared of what exactly? You haven't done anything. I keep trying to tell you, let them talk. They will tell on themselves. They, us. What are you all scared of? You just moved here allegedly, so what would you have to fear because your mother was murdered? Nobody knows you. Nobody knows where you stay, so why would you fear for your safety? Is it because you know you are the ones who killed Debbie Collier and you're thinking that somebody, some random crazy person such as your damn self might come down and hunt you down and kill you too? Imagine that. I always tell you all to listen to the information that has been revealed to you. Always listen to what the FBI has to say, the state police, the state investigating officers. Information has been revealed, surveillance footage, and the people surrounding the victim. Always listen to the details, because in those details is the motive, is the suspect plural. And I think the Venmo account, the surveillance footage, the timing from 309 to 317, the fact that Ellie has ruled out suicide and kidnapping, there's not anything else left but cold-blooded murder by somebody that knows Debbie Collier. I want to thank you for your time. All information and audio in this live, except for the Fox with Nancy Grace, is posted to my community page. Please take any polls that I put up, because I will put up some polls this evening for your participation. Prayers for the truth. And all I can say is have mercy on your soul for whoever did this to her, because I think we know who did this. You're a cold-blooded motherfucker. And I don't have any respect for you, because there was no reason to kill that lady. And the sad thing is, she possibly didn't even see it coming, because she's like a lot of people. She's oblivious to the truth. You're welcome, baby. She's oblivious to what she sees every day. Some people can't handle the truth. They cannot leave well enough alone. And I do believe this is the reason Debbie Collier is not alive. She didn't know how to say no. If you'd like to donate to this great network, Everyday Shenanigans, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. The inscription is in all of my videos. Like, share, subscribe. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. Please mind the children. Thank you for your time. This is Everyday Shenanigans.